This is part three of our 5-part Summer Strong series about natural health wins for the 40 plus crowd. And today we're going to be talking about how you're not just overreacting to that mosquito bite. Your immune system is overreacting, especially if you're on immune altering meds or have chronic inflammation. We're going to be dealing with that right after this. It's the summertime, folks, and that means mosquitoes. But before we get into that, I'm your host, Scott Paton. Joining us, as usual, is our other host, Martin Pytela, health coach at Life Enthusiast, health engineer at Life Enthusiast, and the founder of that great company. Martin, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm feeling very nutty today. See this little spot?
Yes.
I've been playing with my iodine, so I'm taking an extra dose, but that's nothing to do with the summer spot and mosquitoes. Let's talk about the darn heat wave. I am so hot in my room. I bought a house that doesn't have air conditioning, and this western window at 2 o'clock is unbearable. So right now I'm just getting ready to start sweating like a piglet. like a pigsty door in the winter.
Right. So so let's talk about the reactions that people have to mosquitoes. And I happen to be on the Indian Ocean coast of Kenya, and it's hot, and there are not a lot of mosquitoes, but there's two, and they come and visit me every night, buzz around my ear, and leave a welt somewhere. And we want to talk about like how can, if you know, I'm lucky there's only one biting on me, but you know, when you have 5, 6, 10 of them that are picking on you, and there's crowds of mosquitoes, it can become pretty unpleasant. So what are some of the things that we can do?
Well, in your part of the world, people have been coming up with mosquito nets, right?
I love mosquito nets.
Yeah, mosquito net is possibly a good way. But George is so smart. I mean, he lives in tropics, right? They turn on the fan. I mean, that's such a logical thing. They cannot stand wind. They can only fly around when it's calm.
I think he was referring to you and your westward window.
No, he's talking about the mosquitoes. When you turn on the fan, it actually blows the mosquitoes off of you.
That's a great point. And in fact, the last place I was at, they had a mosquito net around the bed, and they had a fan over the bed. So for the beginning part of when I went to bed, I'd have that fan blowing, and those mosquitoes would be gone. And George says, yes, mosquitoes in the Philippines.
Yes, they are. And, you know, in Africa, they're particularly nasty because they show up with malaria, and that's definitely not enjoyable.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm not in any of those zones, so I'm at limited risk. I'm sure I'm not at zero risk, but limited risk.
Yeah. All right. Well, so there's this thingy that we have. My favorite producer of weird things, Martin, has created a thing that he calls Bugs Off, and we sell it as that, Bugs Off. And it's a neem and citronella and silver, and that thing seems to repel the little buggers just fine. So if you are of the persuasion that you like to sit well into the sunset by I don't know what, wet ground, right? Mosquitoes are such persistent buggers because they will lay their larvae into just about anything, any stagnant pool of water. Like you forget an old tire somewhere in the yard, and they will just lay their eggs into the water in the tire or in any other conceivable location, and they can get busy.
Okay, so I'm just bringing up the page.
Oh,
There it
yeah.
is. Bugs
Yeah, yeah.
off. We can talk a little bit about it.
Right. So that's the repellent, right? Like you're spraying it on your body with the hopes that they will not find you or love you or be all over you. The way I hear it is that they love the sweet smell of people who are more acidic. So
Uh,
maybe you're a natural repellent. I'm a natural attractor.
maybe that's why I only see one. So
Yeah.
this has neem oil
Yeah.
and citronella oil and silver ion. So let's talk a little bit about what they can do for you in terms
Well,
of
these are
keeping.
just basic things that the mosquitoes allegedly don't like the smell of. I mean, it's time honored tradition of neem oil and citronella oil. I don't know what to tell you about it. People have been buying it. The ones that have started buying it keep coming back for more. So I think it's working.
I I have a friend who built a resort in a rice paddy in Bali.
All
So of
right.
course there's tons of water, which would suggest tons of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And he thought, what am I going to do to keep the mosquitoes away from my resort? Because if everybody comes and gets eaten alive, they're not going to be coming back or telling their friends to come. So he researched all the plants that were supposed to be mosquito repellent type that mosquitoes didn't like. The scents were mosquitoes didn't like. Things like, I think garlic is probably one of them, but I don't think that's one of the ones that he used. So he would take me around his resort and he would show me all the different plants that he had planted that had this mosquito repellent thing. And I don't know if it was the time of year I was there, probably not, but there were no mosquitoes. And it was just amazing to me that we didn't have any mosquitoes. So a lot of these ingredients probably have a lot to do with that. So bugs
Fantastic.
off. So
Fantastic.
prevention is again the thing, right? We
Yeah.
want to
Okay.
prevent, so put the mosquito repellent on. However, if it's a typical industrial mosquito repellent, it's probably full of things that you don't want to have on your skin.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So
Yeah, those
you
are
want to look for some.
problematic for sure. And
So you
that's
don't want to solve one problem by creating a worse problem.
yeah. And so then there's the second product that we have listed here, which is the Miracle 2 Neutralizer Gel, which is and if you do get bitten, it's an acidic event on your skin. You will get a little red welt. And this thing, when applied, will totally undo the itchiness of anything. I mean, it will stop the itching of what? Well, anything, mosquito bites or sunburn, windburn. It works on hemorrhoids. It works on anything that's itchy and unpleasant.
Perfect. So you would just put some on the palm of your hand and then spread it over the mosquito bite.
Yeah, that's it. Just on the finger and wherever it goes. Works marvelously, even on burns.
Nice.
And then Scott, just to throw you off, I came up with yet one other item that's called Tessamet. And this Tessamet thingy is a antihistamine, a natural antihistamine. It lowers your histamine production. So if you find yourself just itching all over and being unhappy with how bad whatever the reactions are, then you can take this. It works on all of the allergic reactions. So whether that's from pollens or dust or mite or pet dander or you name it, it will lower the reaction, and it will also lower the reaction to insect bites.
Nice.
So this is for people who are just chronically in trouble. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the whole story. My other shorter version of story would be spray your body with magic water.
What's magic water?
They're washing windows.
It's closed. I'm sorry. What? Sure enough,
No,
I get an interruption. There's a crew here outside. They decided to wash windows, so my windows are getting washed. So we'll see if I'm going to get sprayed on, or if it gets so noisy that it's going to disturb the transmission here. So between the clinking of the glasses in the restaurant nearby of you, and the water spray on my windows, we'll have an awesome show today.
Right. The things that you have to go through when you make a commitment to do something at the same time every week, and who knows where you are or what's going on around you.
Yeah, I'm watching some sort of a restaurant-like traffic behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, so where I was, the internet was great in my room until an hour ago, and I was on a Zoom call and it was terrible, and I was on a call with somebody else before him and it was terrible. So I thought, well, I'll come down to the pool because every day it's been really, really quiet. And not tonight. Tonight there's like 20 people here and they're all talking and but at least I'm not breaking up, or you're not breaking up. Maybe I am. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what's interesting?
And I think
you know what's interesting. You just pulled up and you just went like this. Do that again. Just show me your chest. Just rise a little. Winnipeg Jets. What's
Jets?
I mean, we all are.
That's the hockey team.
Yeah, we're all into the teams, but the Winnipeg is the mosquito capital of Canada, as far as I'm concerned.
And I would concur. I grew up in Winnipeg and I left when I was about 28. And I'll tell you, there were swarms, and they have a box that they'll put in the parks, and then they'll count how many mosquitoes there are. And they've hit like all-time record highs, because they do this in all sorts of different areas of the country and in the United States as well, and they compare, and they had like 200 in a box, which was just unheard of. So yeah, there's swarms of these things.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm not there now.
You know what's interesting though, as I'm remembering the years in the 1960s or thereabouts, there were way more insects and there were way more songbirds. And it's really interesting that somehow, through the greater levels of chemicals in the environment, the insects have died off. The levels are down. And of course, the birds that used to eat the insects have nothing to eat.
They're gone.
Way fewer birds too.
Yeah, I can recall driving over the bald prairies of Canada, and the windshield was just a total mess. And now that doesn't happen at all. One of the things that I love about being in the tropics is in the morning, I hear all of these birds singing. And it's just spectacular. It's like, wow. And there are a lot of insects down here. Fortunately, they tend to look after live in their own neighborhood, not where I am. But if you drop a piece of, so here's something interesting. If you drop a cookie on the floor, it gets ignored. But if you drop a piece of cheese or a piece of ginger or, something that's like real food, then these little teeny weeny ants come and just surround this thing. And I don't know if they're cutting it up or whatever they're doing. George talks a little bit about the spraying in the atmosphere. Yep, the chemtrails are
Yeah,
a
that's
problem.
definitely an issue.
And it seems to be one that the politicians are paying attention to for some strange reason. Florida has banned them, and I think there's about another 10 states that also have banned them. And my question is, if you ban it, like, you know, we're not supposed to know who the planes belong to, so how do you, you know?
Right. And
There's
if
a
you ban
plane.
it in Florida and you do it in Texas, does it blow over?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah, or
also
you do it.
interesting, speaking of weather modification, there are a couple of companies in Texas that have been messing around with cloud seeding, making rain,
Yes.
right? And these few recent disasters with a little too much water coming down uncontrollably over a small area smacks off somebody dropping just a little too much of the cloud seeding and just causing a local dump that's, well, the one in Texas was particularly deadly because it was in a confined valley and it caused I don't know what it was, 9 meter or 8 meter, something like that, 27 feet of water rise in a river valley. Can you conceive of that? That's like a 3-story high building.
Yeah.
That just runs down the valley.
No, it blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other side of that is it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right?
Yeah.
Like they told people there's a lot of water, like get out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't. And I have a friend who was in New Orleans during Katrina.
Yeah.
Right. And so when he left his home, he left it with basically a gym bag and his computer. And I said, like, why, you know, you have hurricanes all, like, why wouldn't you be more prepared? He says, Scott, you have to understand, we get these warnings all the time and nothing ever happens. So I just figured like this was another one of those nothing ever happened thing. And I just went to where they told me to go, thinking that, you know, in a few hours I'd be home, not knowing that my home would not exist when I got back and everything was gone. So,
well, I mean, this particular one, Scott, the Katrina was complicated by the fact that the levee broke, right? Like they had this massive breach of the engineering that was holding the water back.
Right. And that's the point. Like something happens that's just totally unusual, right?
Yeah.
So, but you know, what do you like? How do you get people to? I guess you just have to say, listen, you have to get out, and maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it is a big deal, but if you get out and it's a big deal, you're safe. And if you get out, it's not, you're still safe.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm thinking that I'm similarly ignorant because I live in the coastal area where there's a fault line. I could get a pretty serious earthquake happen here.
Yeah.
Where who knows, right? Like we are due for one plus minus 5,000 years. So it could be tomorrow. It could be not in my grandchildren's lifetimes, but it could happen. And I'm totally not ready. I mean, what would I do? Yeah, okay. I might grab my notebook computer and go. I mean, what else would I take, right? I don't even have it. I don't have it in one place, which, okay, that's a good reminder. I think I'm going to have to do that, right? I think I should have a bug out bag ready.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know a company, they did what they called a stress test before COVID. And the stress test was what would happen if our business dropped by 50%? Like, what would we do? Mm-hmm. And so they went through that exercise, and their business didn't drop by 50%, but it dropped significantly. And they were able to weather it because they knew this is what we were going to do. And I think what we've lived in such a long period of relative peace and quiet.
Mhm.
There's been no comets hitting, no asteroids are hitting. We haven't had a major earthquake. And Mount St. Helens blew up, and there was minimal damage when you think about it. So, but if all of them blew up and California fell into the sea, like that would be pretty bad catastrophe. So I think we really need to start looking at stress testing our lives. Like, what do you do if electricity is down and you can't go to an ATM and get money out?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And when the electricity goes down, the internet is off and the cell phone towers are done. And when
are
we
you gonna
all
do?
panic, all at once, even the cell towers get overwhelmed, right?
Yep. So George has a really good comment here. He says they were warned about a super typhoon heading to the central Philippines, and the locals just shot pool, dining, partying, and then boom. And then sadly, many died in
Tacloban. Yeah.
Tacloban.
Was-
And that's
Yeah,
and unfortunately,
I don't remember when that was.
yeah. Yeah, George, maybe you can tell us when that happened. But yeah, being prepared. And I think part of it too is like how people build. Like, people build in the wrong place, and all of a sudden the water comes up, swishes them away, and it's like, oh, that's not very good. And it can happen like once in 100 years, but you happen to be living there, at that particular point, wrong place, wrong time. And what are you going to do? It was 2014 that it happened.
Okay.
So 12, 10, 11 years ago.
My gosh, time flies. Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to mosquitoes.
Okay.
What about some plant-based antihistamines like nettles, vitamin C?
Okay, Nettle is awesome as an anti-allergenic. It's the sole ingredient in our allergy ease product. Yeah. We have the tincture made from Nettle. Works great. Sure.
And what about some essential oils like citronella,
Yeah,
lavender?
I cannot profess much of knowledge of that. Yeah, it probably works. I'm just not a master.
I travel with eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil all the time, and when I notice I've got a bite, that's the first thing I do is I stick that on it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And it helps.
apples, yeah, it helps a lot. Apple cider vinegar and
Huh.
clay.
Okay. I guess when you acidify the skin with the vinegar, it probably makes it feel better.
And George says, "Smart, Scott. Good tea tree oil." Thank you, George. All right. And dandelion root tea. Can you talk a little bit about dandelion root? Because I've been reading some things, not necessarily about mosquito bites, but some really good things about dandelion root. And I don't think we talk about it enough.
No, but as far as I know, this has most to do with liver health.
Oh, okay.
I mean, dandelion in general is a liver support and detox. So, of course, it's great for everything. And if you ever were to connect the allergic reactions, it has to do with how well your liver's coping with whatever's going on in your world, because you methylate away the problems. So if you're a poor methylator, you want the support there. So, yeah, support
So
your
having
liver.
a strong liver is important for everything,
Yep.
including dealing with mosquitoes.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Was something else I wanted to ask you, Martin, although it didn't have anything to do with mosquito bites and bug bites. And I lost it.
Something to do with mosquito bites and bug bites.
Nothing to do with mosquito bites.
Yeah, don't get
nothing. Don't get them. Yeah, like that's never ever going to happen. But I think we're talking about these disasters and being prepared. I think that being prepared for mosquito bites or insect bites and everything else is really important. Like people should sit down and look at what they've got in their first aid kit and look at do the research. Get stuff like bugs off or
especially
neutralizer.
Especially the neutralizer gel, Scott. That's one of those things that I tell people, do you have one in the house when they call looking for help? And they say, no. I said, well, you should have bought one. They last a couple of years and they only cost something like $16 for the bottle. And you should have that sitting around the house, because when you burn your finger on the stove or on the barbecue, or when you get too much sunburn or something like that, that's when you want to have it at your fingertips, not paying $25 for overnight shipping.
Right. Well, that's it. That's the whole thing about being prepared, right? Yeah. And George says, I've known people who've contracted dengue fever.
I actually have no clue how that comes about.
Well, I think you get hit by a mosquito and it's a certain parasite or something that gets into your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand it to be something tropical. I just don't know how it comes about. Yeah. You know what's interesting?
Mosquitoes. It's from mosquitoes.
Yeah, I was showing you.
So
my
what's
iodine.
Interesting?
I was showing you my iodine finger.
Yes.
Iodine helps you with temperature regulation. Right? Like if you have iodine deficiency, you can't handle heat or cold.
Oh.
Right. So people who are not resilient in swings of temperature or extremes of temperature are usually the ones that are deficient in iodine.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with this iodine on your finger.
Oh, I was just emptying a bottle and I was taking off a lid. This was the end run for, I get these 1 ounce bottles and I use 6 drops of this thing every day in my drinking water. And so this time the bottle was quite empty. So I was prying the dispenser off of the bottle so I could recycle it. And so it left a little bit of iodine on my finger to remind me.
I was trying iodine once and I put it on my arm.
Yeah. Okay.
And right along here. And I was just thinking, like, what happens? And it would disappear and disappear and disappear and disappear. And then I thought, do I get like full of it or whatever? And then about a week later, my skin bubbled and it was the iodine coming out of my skin.
God.
I was like, what's going on my arm here, right? And I just like wipe it and there'd be the iodine went in and it came out.
Wow.
So
that's unusual.
Yeah.
They're
very wild.
All right.
And George says every last drop, Martin. That's
right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Well, I just don't want to, when you drop iodine bottle somewhere and someone else touches it or whatever, it just leaves a very strong purple stain. So I wanted to be sure that when I put it out, it's washed out. I'm such a considerate person,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've come almost to the end of our time together. I just want to let everybody know that part 4 is next week, and we're going to be talking about blood sugar blowouts, how summer snacks are sabotaging your energy. Something you've heard many, many times from us, but we're going to be hammering it some more because we want you to have a great summer and not just sit on the couch.
Yeah, Scott, make a note. Remind me of eating too many sugar plums, because that's what I just did last night, and I totally lost it.
All right, I'm making a note. Sugar plum stories,
Yeah.
which usually isn't that a Christmas thing?
Well, wouldn't you know it? There is such a thing as sugar plum. At least these are plums that are about like a large cherry, and they're yellow and red,
Oh,
and they are very sweet. And I ate too many.
awesome.
Okay.
All right, so that's next week. Martin, any last tips as far as what to do when someone gets bit by a mean insect?
Yeah, and neutralizer is really awesome. Get one, keep one, never go without one, because all you have to do is just put it on. I put it on my little boys all the time. They get bit because they're outside a lot, and it makes the itch go away. That's what it does.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, save, notification bell so you don't miss any of our shows. Leave comments, please. We really want to know, if there's something you've got a question, you've got something you want to know the answer to, let us know. We'll deal with it or discuss it in an upcoming episode. And Martin, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to share your knowledge. And we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Hey! Hey!
Hey.